So tell me about compounding change. What is
Yeah.
that?
Compounded change.
Compounded
Perfect
change.
segue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect segue into what we were just talking about. It's everything we were just talking about, right? We're
Okay.
dealing with geopolitical change. We're dealing with economic change. We're dealing with personal change. People are getting married. They're getting divorced. They're having children. We're dealing with ailing parents. These are all personal changes that are happening in our own lives. So the things that we talked about, geopolitical, economic, all of that stuff is the ancillary, right? That's just the additional stress that we're not even, we
Yeah.
don't, we don't have control, but we do have the control over the getting married, getting divorced, having children, dealing with their own parents. Those are the things that we have control over. We can't decide whether or not we want to do them. Sure, you can decide whether or not you want to have children or get married or get divorced, whatever, but you're going to take care of the children you choose to have. You're going to take care of the ailing parents because we are a generation that are dealing with both, right? We're raising children and dealing with ailing parents. So we're we're what they're calling the burnt out generation. There's just so much change happening that we're exhausted. Add to all of that, David,
Yeah.
the changes constantly happening in our workplace. Organizations are restructuring themselves. Technology is constantly changing. We're asking people to adopt new platforms or new softwares or so for me, it's like that's compounded change. In our workplace alone, we're dealing with like five different components of change, let alone what's happening in our personal life, and then all of the geopolitical, economic, all of the, all of the
Yeah.
things that are just surrounding us. That to me is compounded change. And that's why I coined the term 3 years ago. I was like, we're just in a place where change is inevitable, and we're not just dealing with one facet of that anymore. We are dealing with so many components of change that it is compounding and it's exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree 10,000%. And it's almost, we try to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Isolate different aspects of our lives to not
Yes,
have them influence one another. But it gets to a point where it's inevitable that work life,
100%.
personal life, parents, kids, married, not married, where I'm
Yeah.
going to live,
Yeah.
finances, all of that.
All
It's
of it.
almost, yeah, it would be impossible for somebody not to have those start bleeding into each other to lead to this compounded change.
100%. And what I feel the pandemic gave us was instead of work-life balance, it's kind of like a work-life integration. Everybody's working from home now.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch somebody's cat cross across your camera out in the middle of a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Someone's doorbell is gonna ring, someone's dog's gonna be barking. None of those things were things we were dealing with pre-pandemic, but now we are. So it's
Yeah.
like obviously those things are gonna start blending and melding together.